going on there, guys? We back with another one, and today we got to talk about this Von Miller situation with his pregnant girlfriend, where he allegedly put hands on her, and a warrant was issued for his arrest, and he later turned himself in, posted $5,000 bond, and he was back out. But we're going to talk about ESPN and the way they covered Josh Giddey opposed to the way they covered this, and Stephen A. Smith, knowing that the backlash was going to come because of the way they covered this, he spoke on why they're totally different in his opinion. Now, I'm going to play the 911 call first because this is important. This is kind of like what we saw with Kaiser Gonzalez and Kevin Porter Jr., right? She called after he clearly had done something to her in that hotel room. You know, her neck, her spine was severed, different things that she couldn't possibly do to herself with some of the markings. It was consistent with him doing it, you know, just the size of his hands and different stuff like that. But Von Miller's girlfriend's doing something similar where she's saying that it was blown out of proportion, much like Kaiser did. So let's check out that 911 call first, then we're going to check out what Stephen A. and Molly had to say, and I'll be back. Let's speak.
Well, yeah, Chris, in a series of text messages, she told us that her and Von Miller are doing fine. She said that things were blown way out of proportion and that this whole thing is, quote, actually outrageous. It's a major pivot from what authorities told us yesterday morning. I want to start by sharing some of the audio from the 911 call she made.
Okay, what's going on?
My boyfriend was choking me, hitting me with my hair. I have bruises all over me. My hair's out.
You said this is your boyfriend?
Yeah,
Is he black, white, or Hispanic?
he's black.
What's his name?
Von Miller.
Now, we just got Miller's mugshot from police. The Buffalo Bill linebacker is facing charges of assault on a pregnant person, which is a third-degree felony here in Texas. We also have the court documents from the incident. They say Miller's girlfriend told detectives this started as an argument about her not wanting to travel on her birthday. She told police during that argument she slammed a door in their home and Miller told her to leave. She alleges as she began collecting her belongings, Miller shoved and pushed her as she yelled, "Stop, I'm pregnant." Then he grabbed her neck and pulled out a chunk of her hair. In the report, one of the responding officers says he saw her bruises and called them, quote, consistent with applied pressure to the neck.
Reported this morning that an arrest warrant has been issued in Dallas for Bills linebacker Von Miller for allegedly assaulting his pregnant girlfriend. Here's the statement from the Bills this morning. We were made aware of an incident involving Von Miller. We are in the process of gathering more information and will have no further comment at this point.
Agree with, keep your hands off women. Do not put your hands on women if you are a man, period. Let's get that out the way. Having said all of that, on a separate issue, there's something going on in the NBA with Josh Giddey. And what I've said and what numerous others have said is we don't know all the facts. So if we have to take that position with him, with allegations of dealing with a minor, and we want to sit up there and say, wait until we have all the facts, same thing to Von Miller. But it does not look good for him to be in this situation. There is nothing good about this for him, nor the Bills, nor society as a whole with all the nonsense that we're having to deal with in this day and age. Do not put your hands on a woman.
Nor
That's all I
the
have to say.
pregnant girlfriend or the future child,
Yes.
if true.
Yes. True. But he recently turned himself into authorities on Thursday after he was accused of assaulting a pregnant woman, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. Now, just to get the intel nuggets out of the way, Miller turned himself into the Glen Heights Police Department hours after the warrant was issued, and he immediately posted $5,000 bond and was released. Why am I bringing this subject up? Because recently, over the last few days, I had to address a subject involving Josh Giddey of the Oklahoma City Thunder of the National Basketball Association. So considering that and juxtaposing that to this story about Josh Giddey compared to Von Miller, I want to take a moment to explain to everyone the difference of why we, meaning people in the media, can discuss this matter and not the drama that is surrounding NBA player Josh Giddey. I showed him there. You saw his face. You see his face right now. He's been accused of messing around with an underage girl. But in his case, ladies and gentlemen, there's an investigation. The NBA isn't talking. He's not talking. The Oklahoma City Thunder, the NBA team he plays for, is not talking. The family nor the girl he's alleged to be involved with are talking. No one knows. So when that report comes out and there's an investigation and an allegation, that is all you could say. In the case of Von Miller, it's a different animal. Because Von Miller had a warrant out for his arrest. Law enforcement filed papers. Law enforcement forced and compelled him to turn himself in, where he was ultimately able to post bond and depart. And now the National Football League is looking into it because they have something called the Commissioner's Exempt List, where ultimately you could get yanked off the field and not allowed to play.
Okay, so I want to be very clear in the way that I articulate this. Men should not be putting their hands on women and assaulting them. Women should not put their hands on men to assault them. I think we should all keep our hands off of each other. So I'm not saying she provoked it or anything like that. I'm just saying, giving a generalized statement, right? We should not engage in combat with each other. We're adults and we're in consenting relationships, so we should be able to talk our differences out. Or someone, if it's getting to that point, someone should just exit the premises. The other person should let them exit the premises without trying to get in their way. Let cooler heads prevail, then speak at a later time if you feel it getting to that level. So I just want everybody to know where I stand with that. I'm not a fan of hitting from anyone though. You know what I'm saying? It's not a one-way street. Nobody should be taught. I teach my daughters don't put their hands on men, in the first place. But talking about this as it relates to Josh Giddey, we don't necessarily have all the facts of this either. And I think Stephen A. and Molly coming out speaking about it in the way that they did. Now, Stephen A. did on First Take try to say, he tried to be fair and say, we don't have all the facts, so I can't just lean into it, the same way I didn't lean into Josh Giddey, but that comes from the pressure y'all been putting on ESPN in the first place. So he has to preface his statements now instead of just going all the way in, with no regard. If Von Miller did this, and she's pregnant, that's scum. That's scum behavior. I'm fair. He needs to get whatever comes with that as far as a punishment or whatever. He needs to get whatever, the backlash, everything. He needs to get all of that if he did do that, right? But as far as Giddey, it was interesting to see Molly Qerim, because she has a history of not wanting to talk about Dana White. None of these people that did the same thing. There's video of Dana White doing what he did, but when it comes to Von Miller though, she jumped on that quick, fast, and in a hurry. And we heard Stephen A. talk about there's some things that we can talk about, the bosses will allow us to talk about, and there's other things they want. Probably doing some deals with Dana White. They didn't feel like that was a topic that needed coverage on their network. So what I'm saying is that they're not fair in their coverage on these type of things. Forget Josh Giddey. Let's compare alikes to alikes. We saw Dana White do what he did on camera. And we have a 911 call from Von Miller. We have a police report or whatever, but we don't have the video, right now that we had of Dana White. So that's my point. The coverage of Dana White, or lack thereof, and you know, the Josh Giddey thing, okay, if you want to say those are allegations, whatever. But I'm talking Dana White, who we saw do it on camera. That's my thing, man. But shoot, I want to know you guys' thoughts on this. I'm not going to continue to go in on this topic, but I just want to make y'all aware of these things. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.